Oh God, you guys. No, no, no. No, no, no. I can't. I can't. No, please. Welcome back to the Miscellaneous channel where we do miscellaneous things. I'm Zeleny. I typically cover TV, pop culture, internet trends, and other miscellaneous things on this channel, so subscribe if that's your vibe. A while ago, I made a video on my channel where I guessed the plot of Euphoria Season 2 based on my social media algorithms. That was a really fun video to do that I enjoyed, and I thought it was about time for another one. This time guessing the plot of Emerald Fennell's much talked about Saltburn. Saltburn is kind of a future cult classic, like, can we say that yet? It's one of the fastest cult classics I've ever seen come out. It was all over my social media for the past few months. Right now, it's already been a while. I feel like the peak conversation around Saltburn was around December of 2023, and now it's the spring of 2024, so there's been some time for my algorithm to show me several things about Saltburn. I personally am still not that interested in this movie, but I have seen like Saltburn indie sleaze aesthetic being a party theme several times on my social media pages. So, I mean, I'm waiting for someone to invite me to one, but I did my best here with a little bit darker makeup and a vintage shirt. I don't know if I'm doing indie sleaze, but I tried my hardest. And I imagine this aesthetic and Saltburn will be kind of a touchstone, and it feels like a trend that's gonna keep moving forward. It's kind of a fun theme to explore and will maybe mark the years of 2023, 2024 and onward. It could also be forgotten, but it feels like the type of movie that has staying power. I feel like this video in particular is going to be extra challenging because I have heard the movie is a lot of vibes, and I've heard a lot of mixed emotions and feelings about this movie. So many people love it, some people hate it. From what I've heard, the plot is a little all over the place, it's a little wild, and so I really have a challenge ahead of me to guess the plot of this movie. And this is just for fun. I'm just gonna try my best and give it a genuine go. I have a few scenes I definitely know happen. I think you know which ones I'm talking about because we'll get to that, but there's a few scenes I know for sure happen, but I really don't know how we get from point A to point B, because point B is really wild and shocking. I'm gonna be taking some big shots because I just don't have that much information. With Euphoria, it was more like every Sunday night there would be conversation on Twitter about what went on in the episode, and I was really able to piece together like the full season. But Saltburn is a movie. People don't really spell out on social media what kinds of plot points, or especially like the first half of the movie. I saw clips of like the later parts or the more extravagant parts, like the set pieces, if you will, of this film. But in the boring, slower moments, I'm not quite sure what happens. I did make sure to ask my friend, more because I was just wondering if I was interested in watching it. I asked her if it has a plot, and she said yes, it does have a plot, because that was a question I had for a while. But she was like, no, it definitely has a plot. So I'm gonna take a guess at the plot, and then at the end of this video, I might end up watching it and seeing what I got right and reacting to it a little bit. I kind of don't want to do that, and I'm kind of regretting making this video now because I wasn't interested in watching this, and I don't want to. It's just not my aesthetic vibe, and I feel like if it's not your aesthetic vibe, then you're not gonna be interested, because that's like a big thing it has to offer. But anyway, I'm getting up in the weeds, so let's get into it. Let me just conjure what Miss Pregnant Barbie had in store for us. Send me Saltburn vibes. I think I'm pretty solid on the characters, like the amount of characters, I should say. For some of these guesses, I'm just gonna have to like take a shot and then go with it. It kind of feels like I'm putting down the first number in a Sudoku puzzle. I'm gonna commit to some details That may or may not be accurate. Also, I wasn't as diligent at collecting every time Saltburn came across my timeline, but it came across my timeline constantly, like I'm sure all of you, if you're on social media, have seen. So I'll try to find some of the examples when I have hard evidence of something happening. Like I said, I feel like a couple of scenes were really talked about, and then the rest is up to me to fill in the gaps. Okay, let's go down our characters. So our main character is Barry Keegan. For this video, I'm gonna call him Barry Scammer because I believe that's what he is. So first name Barry, last name Scammer. He's broke. He doesn't have a dime to his name. He's a drifter. And he comes into a town, a cute little town, maybe in the 80s. No. Is this a period piece? Shit. Let's just say it's not a period piece, but it kind of has the vibe of a period piece. So Barry Scammer comes into the village, into the town square, and there's a farmer's market going on. And he's like, great, I'm hungry because I'm broke. So I'm gonna steal some bell peppers. And he sort of looks around, tries to spot like a farmer's market vendor that is susceptible, that looks weak and easy to scam, and he finds like a young woman that looks about his age, and that he can maybe sweet talk and flirt into secretly like stashing like a bell pepper. And so he goes up to her stand, he starts flirting with her. He has a very charming personality, very charismatic, he's hilarious, he's telling jokes, but then he starts executing the plan and trying to steal the bell pepper, and then he starts grabbing it, but then the girl's father comes in, and he's like the owner of the vegetable stand, and he says, excuse me, sir, what are you doing? And then Rosamund Pike comes in, and she's a regular of the farmer's market, so she's like, oh, Harold, don't worry about it, I'll get this, because she kind of sees like a young man in need, and she's cool, and she's like older and really nice and kind of like easygoing with life, and she's just like, I'll get that, and she adds it to like her bag, and she pays, and she's like, this is my distant nephew from out of town, she tells Harold, the vegetable stand guy, and he's like, oh, okay. So Harold lets it go, and now Rosamund Pike and Barry the Scammer are, you know, laughing it off. He could just kind of have a vulnerable moment, so he's just like, oh, I'm so sorry about that, I just falling on tough times, like my dad died, and I have no family left, and I just trying to move somewhere. I'm trying to move to this village. And they just have like an instant connection. They have a spark. She likes to help people in need, but also he has a wit about him, and he makes jokes, so she's like, I like you. Do you want to come over to my mansion? We're gonna have afternoon tea. And he's like, yeah, of course. And she's like, I'll give you lunch since you're so hungry. And so cut to, they go to the mansion. And it turns out Rosamund Pike has a hot son, and that's Jacob Elordi. I'm kind of torn if Jacob Elordi is her like cougar boy toy, like she's with him, or if he's her son. But I'm just gonna go with son. This is another putting the number in the Sudoku, because I just feel like I've seen some photos of like Rosamund Pike and Jacob Elordi getting kind of cuddly. It doesn't feel very mother-son. But now I'm kind of like, am I imagining that? Let's just say he's her son to keep it simpler. Anywho, so they go to this mansion and they have lunch, a group lunch together with everyone that lives there. And so we meet in the scene 3 more characters, and that is old tuxedo man, curly haired cousin, and blondie girl. Blondie girl, I believe, is Jacob Elordi's girlfriend. I hope she's not like his sister or something, but we're going with girlfriend. And curly hair cousin, he's maybe like on summer break from university, and I know he has a laptop. I know that for sure. He's probably the smartest person in the room at this point. So during lunch, they're having a great time. They're getting to know Barry Scammer, and they're loving him, especially Jacob Hotson. They're having like a fun rapport. They're like broing out a little bit. They both are into cricket. Is this in England? Oh my god, I kind of forgot if this is in England. This whole time I've had like a European village in my head, but like Rosamund Pike is American, right? Is Jacob Elordi British? I keep forgetting. I know Barry Keoghan, whatever. I don't know how to say his last name, but I know Barry Keoghan's Irish, but I'm sure he can do an American accent if needed. Emerald Fennell is American, right? Why would she make a British thing? Fuck. It's so hard because anybody could be British in Hollywood because they play American all the time. Anyway, let's just say it's not British. So no, but it doesn't make sense if they're growing out of American football. You know, that sounds so like, that doesn't fit the aesthetic. So maybe they're both into football, soccer. Let's just say that. What else are boys into? That's it. Anyway, so Jacob Elordi and Barry Scammer are bonding over their love of soccer. They're like, no one in America gets it, right? But no sports fit the vibe. Anyway, I'm just assuming they're just men bonding over insert man boy thing. They're hitting it off. He's like, why don't you stick around and kick some balls with me? No pun intended. Or no innuendo intended. Barry's like, of course. He has no place to stay. He kind of like downplays how poor he is. He's like, oh yeah, I have an aunt, you know, in the village, and I was planning to go stay with her, but, you know, since y'all have an extra room, you have a mansion, you have a lot of extra rooms actually, I wouldn't mind sticking around, keeping Jacob Elordi company because he's bored because his girlfriend is just not into soccer the way he is, and she's just kind of like interested in her crafts, like making candles and making friendship bracelets, and he's just not so much of that. Barry notices right away Jacob and Blondie girl are kind of incompatible in that way, so he's excited to stick around. So they offer him a place to stay. Unfortunately, at this lunch at the very end, the old man that's there, who is, I guess, Rosamund Pike's father, he's the grandpa, you know, of the home. He chokes on the lunch. He was like eating a peach for dessert, and the what's it called, the pit got stuck in his throat. And no one in the room knew CPR, so he dies. They call the ambulance, they take him, but he died. He kind of had health problems, he had respiratory problems. We had seen him cough earlier, and so he dies, and it's really sad, and it's kind of awkward. Barry Scammer is there to witness all this, and the family is so distressed. He steps in and helps with like the paperwork, or when the ambulance comes, he helps mediate with the first responders and Rosamund Pike, and she's just so grateful he's there. He's actually like, I actually have a lot of accounting experience. I can help you crunch these numbers and these paperwork. He's like, wait, what's it called? He's actually like a deputized public notary. He could help with death certificate stuff. So Rosamund Pike is like, please stay with us. And Barry's like, of course, I'll help out however you need. So obviously I know the least about the beginning of Saltburn. So they're all kind of mourning, and in order to kind of ease the pain, numb the pain from Grandpa's death, they just have a few days of chilling, of vibing, of taking drugs, working through their grief. Barry is there as a shoulder to cry on. There's like a montage of them spending a lot of time outside. That I know for sure. I have seen montages of them outside quite a lot. This is where they're really cementing their bond, and Cousin and Blondie are still around. I mean, Blondie did not have any ties to Grandpa, but you know, they knew each other. She's been together with Jacob Elordi a while, but they're all bonding in the montage, especially the three, Rosamund Pike, Jacob Elordi, and Barry. They're all bonding hardcore. But the cousin kind of stays off to the distance and is kind of like, oh, I don't know. Something's fishy about Barry Scammer. Maybe it's his last name? Question mark? And at first, he's like confiding in Blondie girl, and he's like, I don't know about him. And she's like, I don't know, like, he seems like a nice guy. She's kind of on the fence. And during this time, as the core three are getting close during this montage, Barry starts looking at Jacob Elordi a certain kind of way. And Jacob Elordi whether it's knowingly or unknowingly, he's kind of a himbo. He's kind of like queer baiting him a little bit. He's kind of like taking off his shirt or like flexing when he's like thinking. Barry is kind of getting mixed signals of like, wait, is he into me or not? And so they have a picnic outside the mansion. They have a lot of trauma from eating inside where they were eating lunch where their grandpa died. So they have to eat outside. Barry kind of like tests the waters with Jacob Elordi and like puts his hand on his knee. And Jacob Elordi kind of like moves his knee back and is like, kind of rejects him. Barry then approaches Blondie Girl and starts flirting with her because Barry is very good at flirting, and he starts, like, kind of as revenge for Jacob Elordi rejecting him. His plan is to bond with Blondie so that she wants him more than Jacob Elordi. So far, the only thing I know for sure-ish from my social media feed is that Barry, the scammer, is bisexual. So that's why I'm assuming at some point in the movie he goes for men and women because people keep calling him bisexual. So like I said, this movie's kind of boring in the first chunk. I mean, yeah, there's an exciting death, but it's a lot of just moving stuff around. So Barry is also working like at nighttime on the paperwork, and he's starting to see Rosamund Pike is about to inherit a lot of assets. Grandpa owned this whole mansion. He owns properties all over California or Europe, wherever we are. He's a boomer from back in the day, of course. Barry is crunching the numbers, and Rosamund Pike is about to be inheriting all of it. She was his only daughter or wife. I don't know. Let's just go with daughter. Maybe she was a wife. Shit. Either way, whether she's a wife or a daughter of Grandpa, she is inheriting it all. While Barry is crunching numbers, smart cousin, who is kind of not buying it, he comes in and he's like, what are you up to? And he's like, nothing, just, filing the paperwork. And he's just like, what are your intentions here? And he confronts him. And Barry's like, nothing. I love your family. They bought me my bell peppers when I was down on my luck and broke. And they're being kind enough to give me a place to stay. So I am trading my accounting abilities. Cousin's trying to ask him, like, where is he from? Who's his family? Where did he grow up? But Barry just kind of deflects and is like, no, I love Rosamund Pike. She's like a mother to me now. And I'm into her hot son. That's the subtext. That's not said out loud. And my past is complicated. I don't want to talk about it. I'm triggered. So cousin makes some notes on his little laptop about Barry was defensive, and then leaves the room, and he's not getting anywhere with him. And so the next morning, they go into Rosamund Pike's bedroom. Everyone was at breakfast wondering where she was because she's naturally a morning person and an early riser. Jacob Elordi goes into her room and she's dead in her bed, peacefully. Jacob Elordi comes down the stairs distraught. What has happened? My mother is dead. And Barry, scammer's like, oh no, who could have done this? And so they call the ambulance again. The ambulance comes. They say, we're going to have to do an autopsy to figure out how she died. So we're not getting any answers anytime soon. The reason I'm kind of going there is because I feel like I've only seen scenes of Rosamund Pike, like, in the fun outdoor montage, and then I never see her again in later scenes. So that's why. Something that's helping me quite a bit piecing this together, not that this is going very accurate or anything, but I did see a tweet that said Saltburn is kind of like the male Ingrid Goes West. And Ingrid Goes West is a movie I watched and I love. And so I'm kind of using that a little bit as guidance. But people also just be saying things online, and I'm not sure that it's like that similar. So anyway, Jacob Elordi is distraught. His mother's body is gone. Cousin is more suspicious of Barry because he's like, why did she die all of a sudden? And Barry was just telling me about all the money she was gonna inherit. And so Barry is like, you know what, gang? We're all sad. We're so sad Rosamund Pike died, but how about we just throw a rager to get over our grief? Cousin is like, no. And Blondie is like, yes. And Jacob Elordi's like, I guess. He's kind of numb to it all. He just lost his grandpa, his mother. He'll do anything to just kind of forget about it. So he's like, fine, Barry, throw your party. And so Barry is excited because, you know, he is kind of overplaying how much he loves Rosamund Pike, or loved her. He's thinking about, wow, maybe me and Jacob Elordi could live happily ever after now that he's going to inherit it all. He's kind of thinking that direction. And this party is this labor of love he is hoping will impress him. So he gets all the decorations ready and outfits. He has some antlers he wears. It's all a metaphor for him being Satan and potentially the antagonist of the movie. I mean, we don't know yet, but you know, there's something kind of fishy about him. So Barry is coming into Jacob Elordi's room to check if he's ready for the party, do a whole outfit check with him and all that, and then he sees he's in the bathroom and there's like a crack in the door, and Barry's like, what's he doing in there? I don't know how to not get demonetized on here. How do I say this? Jacob Elordi is jerking it, if you will, in the bathtub. He climaxes, and the stuff goes on the floor of the bathtub. And so Jacob Elordi gets out and heads to his fancy big closet to start getting ready. Barry runs in. The stuff is going because of gravity and drainage pipes, and so Barry runs into the bathtub, gets in, and oh my god, how do I... starts, you know, consuming any liquids around the drain. And this I'm certain of. This is the only scene I'm fucking certain of, because I'm sure at like 9 a.m. on a Tuesday one day, this clip just came up and people are talking about it, and it's kind of this shock value thing that Emerald Fennell is attempting with her work, and it got the people talking. I think it worked. So Barry does that, and then Jacob Elordi's coming back. He's dressed up for the party, like out of his closet, back into like the bathroom, and Barry gets out real quick and plays it cool. And so that is like kind of a shocking midpoint, and from there, guests start arriving, and we see another kind of montage of partying. This is where the indie sleaze aesthetic and party theme, I think, comes from, this scene. Everyone's partying, everyone's kind of glittery, but a little like trashy. I do see it as like Lana Del Rey core, you know, people are smoking cigarettes, maybe even inside the mansion. The audacity. I don't know where they got all these friends, but you know, Jacob Elordi, I guess, is the most popular guy at his school, and he invited all the cool people. They're having a great time. They are smoking blunts. They are drinking liquor. They're taking shots. They're wearing antlers and angel wings. At a certain point, it starts getting a little blurry, but Barry and Blondie make out. They finally have a thing, kind of a secret off to the side without Jacob Elordi seeing. She sees what he's putting down and she's into it, but Barry has his sights set on Jacob Elordi. And so he goes to seek out Jacob Elordi. He's contemplating outside. It's hitting him that it's sad. He lost his mother. He lost grandpa. He's so young. He doesn't know what to do with an estate and generational wealth. And Barry comes out and he's like, don't worry, we'll do it together. Jacob Elordi's like, really? And Barry's like, yeah, I have so much experience. I'm an accountant. I'm a notary. I'm a paperwork specialist. Like, I can help you with all this. Maybe we could. He like touches his hand, and Jacob Elordi gets close, and they're like about to kiss. And then Blondie comes out and she's like, Jacob Elordi, where have you been? Barry is fuming that this happened. He's upset. Jacob Elordi kind of whispers to him like, I just don't know. I'm very confused. Jacob Elordi looks excited to see Blondie and like is happy to make out with her. Barry is fuming and he's like looking at the estate and is like, no, like Jacob Elordi is not in it with me. He's not in this plan with me to marry me and split this estate and live happily ever after. So Barry comes up to Blondie and Jacob, tears them off each other, and Cousin comes in and he's like, Cousin, you too. Barry's like, you know what'd be so cool right now? Let's go get Taco Bell. They're all stoned, drunk, on drugs, and they're like, hell yeah. Barry is driving, heading down these country roads, because this mansion's like kind of a little out of the city, or out of the village. Sorry, is it a village? Scrap that. Jacob Elordi is driving. Jacob Elordi is in the front. Blondie is in the front seat because Blondie is edging out Barry now. Jacob Elordi has, through actions and body language, shown where he stands in the romance department, and he's into Blondie. He's only into just queer baiting, not actually being queer with Barry. And Barry's in the backseat, stuck in the backseat with Cousin, his least favorite person. They're all like hee-hee-ha-haing, driving, Jacob Elordi's driving kind of irresponsibly. Barry is giving him like directions from the backseat to get to Taco Bell, because Jacob Elordi is a himbo. He's dumb, right? He doesn't know navigation. Cousin starts striking up a conversation with Barry, and it's like, didn't you make lunch at the picnic the day Rosamund Pike died? Barry's like, yeah, and what of it? And he's like, did you use bell peppers? And Barry's like, no, but flashback to him using bell peppers. Cousin is like, well, good, because Rosamund Pike was deathly allergic, and it's an allergy that takes like 12 hours to kick in and result in death. And then Barry, there's a flashback to Barry seeing in her documents that he was doing the paperwork for, and her allergy said bell peppers. He was aware of it all. And that's the twist, that he knew she had this very rare condition and allergy. And then they're kind of going under a highway on this rural road. Everyone's kind of distracted, listening to the music. And then Barry grabs, because remember, Barry had antlers on for the party. He had taken them off in the car, because in the car you can't have your antlers. He had them next to him. He grabs his antlers, and then he pushes like the pointy part down, like, because he's behind Jacob Elordi, like behind the driver's seat, pushes it down onto Jacob Elordi's foot and like makes him accelerate like hella fast. And in the chaos, he veers and he crashes into like the highway overpass that they were about to go under. But Barry knew what he was doing, and he jumped out of the vehicle from the back seat, like the back door. He had it open. He did this all really fast. He unlocked the door, had it like ready to open. He grabbed the antlers. He put the point part on his foot and accelerated, and they veered, and he immediately rolled out. He knew how to do that. He just knew how to roll out of a vehicle. And he's a little scratched up, but the car went into that bridge and kind of exploded. Barry just runs away. It takes him like the whole rest of the night to get back to the mansion, but he makes his way back. There's only a few passed out drunk party guests in the mansion, and he just goes and passes out. Next morning, knock 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 at the door, and it's the cops, and they're like, hey, we found this car registered to this address. It was crashed, unfortunately, sir. They're like delivering it like, it's somber news, of course. And the cop says, unfortunately, 2 people have passed away in the crash. They died immediately on impact. Barry's like, wait, 2 people? And the cop is like, yes, luckily the 3rd person survived. Barry's like, who was it? Who was it? And the cop is like, you'll have to go to the hospital to find out. So he arrives at the hospital. We open the door. Reveal, it's Jacob Elordi in a coma. He's like, oh my God, thank God. So glad Cousin and Blondie are dead, because Cousin was on to me anyway, and Blondie was just useless. She was just a pawn in this scheme. And so he cries to Jacob Elordi. He feels some guilt, but also he's got his eyes on the prize. And so he goes to the hospital vending machine in the waiting room, and he's like, I should probably eat something. And then someone in the waiting room starts choking on their snacks from the vending machine. And Barry goes and performs CPR. This is a big realization and twist for the movie, because he could have saved Grandpa when he died of choking. He knew CPR the whole time. So we've now revealed and know that he poisoned the picnic with the bell pepper allergy for Rosamund Pike to die. He didn't save Grandpa and let him die. And he caused the crash that killed Cousin and Blondie and put Jacob Elordi in a coma. Us as the audience were like, wait, what? He was planning all of this the whole time? He comes back in Jacob Elordi's room with a different look in his eye. Like, before he was crying, and now he has a sinister look. The tear stains are still there, but they're dried, and now he's cold. And he comes in the room. He makes sure no nurses are looking. And then he pulls out his feeding tube. And then he quickly books it out of there. As the machines start beeping, he's like, the wild Pokemon fled. He goes back to the mansion. This is a small town, a small rural hospital. So a nurse came in a little later and was like, wait, what happened? Oh my God, this guy just rolled over and his feeding tube popped out. Oh no, he died. Like, this is our bad. So Barry's off the hook. So he's back at the mansion. A representative from the hospital comes and is like, hey, we have this body registered to this mansion at the hospital. What do you want to do with him? And he's like, well, just bury him in this graveyard. You know, the family all has these plots in this special graveyard. It's already all planned out for him. I did all the paperwork. Here you go. And so he goes and buries Jacob Elordi, or watches him be buried. He's the only one at the funeral because he killed everyone else. He cries again. He goes back and forth between like the sinister thing when he's doing a kill or like or thinking about a kill, and when he's like feeling remorseful and like, oh, I had good times with them though. So he sits around in the graveyard all day, and then at nighttime when everyone's gone, he takes the opportunity that he always wanted of, you know, hooking up with the hot Jacob Elordi. He does what he can at this point and essentially fucks the dirt and gets to have a little bit of peace that he got to him at some point. He got to do the deed with Jacob Elordi. And so he goes back to the mansion, goes to bed, and then wakes up in this beautiful mansion. He had rigged all the paperwork for the chain to go to him. There were some moments in the bonding where, you know, he got Rosamund Pike's signature on a will to transfer assets to him. It's all his. The mansion is his. And he dances around naked in a robe to Murder on the Dance Floor. And that is the closing scene of the movie. I feel like I watched it. So that was Saltburn, Zeleni's version. Zaltburn, if you will. I would love to know if you prefer the original Emerald Fennel Saltburn or Zaltburn, written by yours truly. I think mine has some merits. I think I had some of the outrageousness and surrealness that I think Emerald Fennel attempts to. I had some bell peppers, plot twist reveal with flashbacks. I had a Taco Bell run after a party, like who doesn't want that? I genuinely tried my best. I wasn't just trying to be crazy. I mean, I have heard the movie is crazy and random and a little out there, so I had to make some choices this time. Let me know what you thought of my guesses. I'm gonna watch it, I guess, and see if I got anything right. The only things I'm sure about are the bathtub scene. Of course, who doesn't know about the bathtub scene? The graveyard scene. I know about the graveyard scene. I know about the feeding tube. I don't know who it's about. I just know there's a feeding tube thing somewhere in the movie. I was just scrolling through my regular Reddit feed. A post came up suggested from the Saltburn subreddit that was like, why did so-and-so take out so-and-so's feeding tube? And I don't know the names of the characters or anything, so I don't know who they were talking about. I know there's something about a feeding tube. I know the graveyard, and I know the end scene, of course, that's super famous with Murder on the Dance Floor. I've seen the clip, trust me. That's all I had to work with. I just filled in some gaps. Hello. So I am here and I'm gonna try to watch Saltburn. I got more cozied up and I am ready. Also, I want to make some amendments to my summary. I'm pretty late to the party, so like the conversation on social media has definitely moved on and I'm not seeing any extra content. But after thinking about it some more, I'm like, this must be a British setting for this movie. Like, it makes so much sense. It's like the girlies that love British stuff, I feel like are the same ones that love Saltburn. Now I'm feeling more like Jacob Elordi is British. I don't want to look up anything because I don't want to like spoil this video and the integrity of the experiment, because I don't think I explained it that well originally when I presented this video. But the point of a video like this, as goofy and dumb as it is to show if my social media algorithms and the pop culture conversation is thorough enough and presenting media accurately to someone that hasn't seen the media they're talking about. So like, can the internet fill me in properly about what happened in Saltburn, or did I totally miss the mark and people just talked about the shock value things and nothing else? I think it's more like the latter, and people just kind of talked about the shocking moments online, which makes a lot of sense. Also for movies, I think spoiler culture is more prevalent and like people aren't talking that thoroughly about plots for movies like this that have a lot of buzz. Most people that had opinions on Saltburn were probably like, you should watch it or you shouldn't and see for yourself kind of thing. I think that's more of the culture with movies, whereas TV, I think it's a little more of a conversation of like, what happened this week? What happened in this episode? So it's been interesting to think about this experiment as I'm editing this video. And also I realized I forgot to write in any sex scenes into my original plot. So sorry for the sex scene enthusiasts. I imagine the actual movie beat me in that department because I included like these shocking sexual moments of the movie that are very famous, but I totally forgot to like include any actual intercourse. If I could add anything, I would add a sex scene. Either I'm gonna say it's between Barry and Rosamund Pike at the beginning, like that's how they cement their bond, or it's between Barry and the blondie girl, maybe at the rave, at the party. I don't think there's a sex scene between Jacob Elordi and Barry, just because I feel like if that had happened, that clip would have been on my Twitter feed. I think he has sex with someone that isn't Jacob Elordi. Because if it was Jacob Elordi, I feel like y'all would be sharing that. Y'all would be sharing it all over the place. So those are my edits to Zaltburn, my version. And now I'm going to watch it and I'm just going to react. I'm going to put it through a filter so it won't look very cute, but I'll react to if I got anything right. I feel like I got nothing right, like just the 3 scenes I knew about and that's it. I've been intimidated by this movie. I'm a girly pop kind of girl. I'm not an indie sleaze, edgy, cool person, you know? So I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to expect. Let's actually watch this movie so that I can be freed. We're going in. A24. Let's go. Oh my god, it's a long-ass movie. Oh no. Why did none of you tell me it's a long movie? I'm already in a bad mood because it's 2 hours and 11 minutes. I wish I knew that. I could have put in so much more plot into mine. The font of this movie is iconic. I will say that. Felix. Did they have sex? Oh my god. Y'all really kept that secret. If they had sex, y'all kept that secret really good. I commend y'all. Okay, there's no farmer's market scene. I can already tell. It is British. See, I'm glad I made the amendment. Is Emerald Fennell British? She probably is. Cousin. I knew it was a period piece. I called it. Wait, no, I didn't. Fuck. My version was more village-centered, and this seems more school-centered. I did not account for all the extra characters. Okay, so they're in college. I was thinking high school. Cousin. Farley Start? What kind of name is that? Now I have this whole character in mind for Cousin, and like he's not even smart in this. I thought he was smart. I thought this movie was gonna be way more grimy, but it's kind of like giving Hogwarts. See, Barry is a simp in this, and he was a simp in mine so far. Only correlation, and it's a reach, but you know. Barry Keoghan is giving acting. I'll give him that. Is this man even bisexual? What were y'all talking about? Cousin. He's suspicious. See, he's broke. Okay. See, Jacob Elordi's playing like the role I assigned to Rosamund Pike. Montage.
I did not even buy cousins.
Yo, he's a cousin. Consciously, I was not aware. Okay, I'm in the game. Is Jacob Elordi like the new, like, Brad Pitt of our generation? Comment below. Is he like the current leading man of Hollywood? I think so. Okay, so Barry paid attention when they were talking about his big castle. Oh, I should have predicted sex scenes with Jacob Elordi and like other women, or Blondie or whoever. Is she Blondie? She doesn't look very blonde to me, but creeper alert. I did say he'd be jealous of Jacob and a girl. This is the iconic cinematography I've heard so much about, I guess. I may have thought he was an accountant, but I did say he would offer to do stuff for the rich family. He offered to clean up Jacob Elordi's nasty room. He's starting to discard him like the nerd warned. What's Barry's name in this? I forgot already. Oliver. They've said it a million times. Okay, he is bisexual. I'm starting to understand the indie sleaze of it all. See, cousin is condescending. I gathered that much. Y'all told me about that. You know, it should have been obvious, like, it takes place in Europe. Like, there's no castles in the U.S. I just didn't know if they were trying to make, like, a fantasy version of the U.S., you know? I think the plot twist is going to hit way more in the actual version than my version, because Barry is really playing up this, like, innocent guy vibe. He's down on his luck. Oh my god, Saltburn is a place? This is breaking news. That's the name of the mansion. Wow. That puts a lot into perspective. For the actual movie, the way he gets to the mansion is a whole school year of relationship building. And in my version, it was just like a farmer's market spat. To each their own. I forgot to write in butlers into mine. I do see the vibe of it being like a Ingrid Goes West. That's very much the dynamic of these two characters, but male version. Oh, this shot looks familiar. It looks like foreshadowing for like the end shot that I've seen on Twitter. Jesus Christ. The wealthy deserve punishment. Mother, that house tour was humbling, to say the least. Oh shit, I think Blondie Girl's gonna be a sibling. That's my bad. Oh my god, cousin, see with the laptop? I knew it. So Rosamund Pike is playing Lisa Vanderpump. Got it. Yeah, rich people be gossiping. Blonde girl! I've seen the memes of cousin with this little laptop. Y'all didn't tell me anything about this red-headed woman. It's Grandpa. Oh my god, this is like the meme. I did not account for Pamela. There's a lot of sexual attention. Is Grandpa gonna choke? Rosamund Pike is cunty. Blonde girl, what's her story? Where are her candles? She's an oracle. Blondie's the smartest of them all. Sorry, I underestimated her. Why does everything nowadays have to be like a suspense thriller that might end in murder? Like, I get it, it's exciting, but also like, we don't need that to tell a good story. I don't know, I'm venting. It's the Get Out effect, and Get Out did it really well, but like, now everyone's trying to be Get Out. I told y'all they would be smoking cigarettes indoors, so... Why is everyone so mad at him for ordering eggs? I know, it's like, he doesn't fit in, right? Okay, these are the outdoor montage moments. I was thinking, oh my gosh, she's nude. They're all nude? Ew. I don't like this game. Like, aren't there bugs out there? Okay, here's the montage I've been waiting for. I can't believe they're playing this song. I can't play it, but just imagine it. Okay, see, this is the montage I recall. Grandpa hasn't died, and he's not Grandpa, he's Dad. Yeah, this is I've seen clips of this quite a bit. This is the montage. See, I thought that was Rosamund Pike, but it's Blondie. Oh, God. That's where all my confusion went. I thought this was Rosamund Pike. That's the meme. Back then, did they have merch of Dump Him, the Britney Spears shirt? I don't think there was merch of that, was there? I appreciate the reference, though. This montage is basically how I pictured it, except Rosamund Pike and, what's her name in the actual movie? Oh, God. She's more what I thought Rosamund Pike would be. Oh, this movie's too long, you guys. I'm entertained, though. Like, it's moving. I was worried it would be way more slow, and it's definitely exceeded all expectations on that front. Like, it is moving quick. Here goes Barry creeping again. He's always creeping. See, I called he would be, like, looking through a door. I just didn't know when. Wait, maybe... Is this it? I described it pretty accurately, I think. I'm not ready for this. No, please. I can't show this on YouTube, honestly. I'm gonna have to cut. Oh, God. Oh, God, you guys. No. No. I can't. No, please. You guys. Okay, I mean, I've seen this. That's a slurping. It's honestly not the most graphic at all. I mean, it's shocking, but it's... Venetia. That's Blondie's name. He's seducing her, you guys. Barry, post-bathtub, he, like, drank some Riz and now has game somehow. Rosamund Pike is basically like a Kourtney Kardashian type of character. My little Gwyneth Paltrow vibe. She seems easily enabled. See, he's seducing Venetia, Blondie. Why is he policing her food intake? Did I miss something? Is it like a control seduction method? Okay. I can't show much of this, I'm sure, but there is a sex scene. Oh, God, this is a lot. I can't show any of this. I can't show anything, but there's sexual relations happening. This is definitely the movie of the fluids. Oh, see, she's eating, like he said. Cousin saw everything. I knew he'd be watching all the things. I give it to this movie for being saturated and, like, colorful. So Barry's lying about him hooking up with Venetia, which we all saw was very intentional.
Fucking Farley, what a shit stir.
Cousin is a shit stirrer. I knew that. Sorry I didn't go the sibling route. I went the dating route just because, I don't know. I felt a little more... You could do more with it.
We can't even notice that you're different or anything like that.
They don't see color. Allegedly. I pictured way more murder by now. My murder happened like 5 minutes into my plot. This is an iconic shot. Venetia's giving Avril Lavigne. Hey, you, I don't like your girlfriend. Am I right? That's the era, though. So it's era accurate. Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. I can't play it for y'all, but just imagine it. There always has to be a karaoke scene in any comedy. Cousin is so much douchier in the real version. So Cousin tried to shade him by his karaoke song choice pick, because Barry was trying to tell Cousin, like, must be shitty to have to rely on all these rich people. Oh my god, calm down. He's fucking everybody. I thought Cousin would be way too suspicious of him to fall for him, but, you know. This is so silly. Like, he's controlling everyone through fucking him. I mean, okay. That's valid. I can't show this again. Barry has too much game. When is he gonna start murdering, though? So, Cousin tried to steal something. He got in trouble. So, basically, these rich kids just sitting around talking shit is the moral. Oh my god. The Jacob Elordi. I can't with the Jacob Elordi's baby girl era. So, if Barry's fucking his way to the top, next is Rosamund Pike. She's the next victim. Is this the part where it starts not making sense? Oh my god, that driving scene. I didn't know there was an actual driving scene. So Jacob Elordi is taking Barry to his mom's house against Barry's wishes. Because he's trying to, like, be humanitarian as a rich person and, like, help out someone poor. Is Barry lying and he has, like, perfect, normal suburban parents? That's what it seems like. Yeah, I mean, he's from, like, a live, laugh, love household. That's a gag. So he's not even fucked up. Okay, I get it. I see the vision. His parents are gonna be like, hi, normal. He had said his parents were, like, drug addicts. That's hilarious. He's such a scammer. He said he was an only... He's just a liar. See, I knew he's a scammer. He's a liar. So Barry's, like, the smartest kid in his school. In theory, he could be an accountant someday. He lied to Jacob Elordi about everything, and they just have to stay at his parents' house. So the party is for Barry. That's the rave. They kept talking about this party the whole time, and it's just dawning on me. It's the rave. So Jacob Elordi's betrayed because he lied about everything.
Fucking liar on it.
Yeah. He said it. Because rich people won't care when you're boring. I'm scared. How is everyone going to die that quick? Like, right? Because they all going to die. So he's just kind of a psycho, it turns out. I mean, we knew, but also... I think I made him a way more milder psycho. Oh my god, his antlers... In my story, they were the secret weapon. I doubt they will be here. The wings. I know the wings. I forgot to include the wings in my... He's done with him. But, like, for good reason. He's a liar. I probably can't show that because there was some drug use involved. I'm liking the Saltburn thing. Like, I like how it's going for it and, like... It's like making its own thing. Like, now people can have a theme Saltburn party, and there's a lot of inspo here for people to draw from. So Cousin's basically like, your time's up here at this castle. You're poor and you're useless. But he's not even poor, we found out. Cousin will not be submissive. Dang, this is Barry's birthday party. I guess I didn't realize that. He loves the paparazzi, loves the fame. Ooh, this is everything. I see. I see why the nightclubs are making parties out of this. This is great. Rosamund Pike is at the party? Oh my god. Queen. Woo. Barry is scheming at the party. Honestly, I'm surprised I haven't seen more shots from Saltburn. Like, I've seen a lot of different shots of it that are, like, good picture moments, but almost, like, every minute of this movie is, like, a picturesque moment. Like, I had heard that that was one of its strong suits, but it's cool to actually see, like, yeah, I'm surprised I haven't seen more of these frames, because every frame is so artsy. There's a sex scene of Jacob Elordi and a woman. I kind of had this conversation, right, in mine. It was a lot less intense, but you know. They almost kiss, but they don't. I'm on Felix's side for this one. He's a little creepy. I will give him that. Oh my god, the wings part that's so famous happens when he's like puking. Gross. Anyway, there's no way they ever hook up because why would the graveyard scene ever happen if they had hooked up in real life? I've seen this frame. He's looking at the mansion. I said that. I'm really grasping at straws. Girl, I'm scared. Everyone's yelling Felix.
Jack in the Box.
He said Jack in the Box. That's kind of like Taco Bell. What? I'm scared. I'm scared. I don't want to see a dead body. No, no, no. He's a fallen angel in the maze. Did Barry do this? I'm confused. Is he dead? Everyone's acting like he's dead, but then the dad's, I guess he's in denial. He did it. I never thought he'd be the first to die. They can't be talking about lovely times last night when Felix is dead? Question mark? They're pretending like they don't care about the death. He's just like dead though? Is the message that like rich people ignore things? Cousin's questioning why Barry's even here. Barry ratted out Cousin for having cocaine. He's getting kicked out. That was Cousin's downfall. So maybe Barry doesn't murder all of them. He just murders them metaphorically. Funeral. Wait, so what was the feeding tube thing? I guess that was false intel. I guess it could be somebody else's feeding. Okay, yeah, we don't know yet. So tragic when a hot person dies. Well, I know what's gonna happen, and it is disturbing. This is it. I'm not gonna be able to show much more of this, but I already said what happened. What I said happened is what's happening. But did he kill him? We're still not sure. We're going. Sorry, y'all have to miss this. How long is this scene? Goddamn. What a little freak. I'm hungry. It's been so long. Blondie's onto him. She said he's stranger danger, which is correct. I'm confused. Why are they making out? She died in the bathtub. Oh my god. Oh my god. See, everyone's dying. Dad. So every time someone calls him out, I feel like Barry does a little something. Why don't they tell us why they died, though? See, no one else knew that he comes from a fine family. Like, that's why he had to kill Jacob Elordi, and then he killed Blondie because she was calling him out. And now this guy's calling him out. I'm scared. Did he fall down the stairs? Oh. And bye, bitch. I would love to see the behind the scenes of, like, making the sets and production design of this movie. Like, it's turning it out. Oh my god, Barry is trying to run into her. So, like, he ran into her. So I think Grandpa unalived himself. So she was the only one that was really attached. He had laid all the groundwork to call her beautiful and stuff for her to really like him. And it kind of seems like she said the coast is clear to live at Saltburn. So that means like, oh, my husband's out of the way now. So wink, wink. This is it. I'm so confused. Okay, he did get her to sign some documents. We got there in the end somehow, he said. This is exactly the moral of the story. He's kind of confessing all these accidents weren't accidents. See, from the beginning, he had it all planned out. I told y'all. Oh, see, he did the bike. Okay, he messed up his bike. He was showing we knew obviously he like ran into her not by accident. We're back at the beginning, little speech and montage. We don't need to see all this stuff again. Thanks. She looks really dead. I'm confused. I knew this would happen. So there it is. So obviously I mixed up all the characters. How does he not get in trouble for this though? With like the law? My story had like some police investigation. and ambulances. I'm going through a journey. Like, in like the first 2/3, I was like, why does everyone hate this movie? It's so fun. And I see like how it really falls apart at the end. And I think that's kind of overwhelmingly what I've heard. But it's just kind of like, wait, what? Why did this all happen? And, huh? Okay, this is it. I've been hearing this song so much out in public lately. And he's naked, of course. Oh, I can't show y'all. Sorry. I can't show much of this, obviously. I mean, he got what he wanted, you know? Is there more to the movie? No, okay. No. Okay. There's a murder on the dance floor. It was going really strong. Like, I was really into it. And then at the end, it was just like, what? How? And it falls apart a little bit. And it's kind of hard, like, his character, like, the scary thing is, I guess, that he's a psycho without having a fucked up background. He just is, you know? So that's, like, even scarier because it's just, like, that means anyone could be a psycho, you know? They don't have to come from a fucked up, poor life or something. I don't know, whatever. This is artsy-fartsy stuff. I mean, I had fun, though, most of the time. I was entertained, and it wasn't long, but at least it was moving. And I was so worried it was just going to be, like, scenes that made no sense or had no purpose. But, like, the scenes had purpose most of the time. It's just, at the end, it was kind of, like, not explaining a lot of things and moving almost too fast. I thought I would hate it more based on how much people talk about it, or the way people talk about it. But it's just interesting. I think for me, it also helped me in particular. I think I was briefed about the more shocking moments, so it didn't catch me off guard. I feel like it'd be really jarring to go into this movie, like, not knowing anything or any of the shock stuff about it. I think for me, I was very prepared for it, and I was able to just, like, have fun with it instead of being like, oh, that happened. Shit. Not my favorite movie ever, but I talked about where I appreciated certain things about it. Now I'm in the know. I'm in the club. I can talk about Saltburn. It's been so long, so many months of me not understanding anyone and not having an opinion on it. So now I have an opinion. Look at me. Back to the other me. That's my Zaltburn. That's my truth. I hope you enjoyed this ride. Let me know if you enjoyed it or didn't, or what were your favorite parts now that I've seen it, I guess. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed. I put out new videos whenever I feel like it about TV, pop culture, internet trends, and other miscellaneous things. And you can follow me at Miscellaneous to keep up with me, or just turn on the bell notification here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.